What's up, everyone? Vince Ingenito here. Today I am joined by Dave Blank, production assistant at 2K Games. How you doing today, Dave?
I'm great, thanks.
Awesome.
Vince, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. Today we're playing some Evolve, and we are looking at the evacuation mode, which is the big kind of wrapper mode that pulls all the different other modes into one kind of cohesive experience that feels kind of like a campaign. This particular bit of it that we're looking at is Defense.
Defend, yeah.
Right, Defend.
Yeah.
We're playing on the King's Fort map, which is a map we haven't really seen before. So tell me a little, give me a big high-angle overview of like what Defend is all about.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, new map, new mode showing off here. Defend is the final day, the final mode of what you talked about as evacuation. And in Defend, this is where everything is laid on the line. This is the final battle for Sheer, so to speak. In Defend, you are working towards, as the monsters we're seeing here, working towards pushing the hunters back further until you eventually get to the evacuation ship. And as the monster, you want to destroy the evacuation ship and cut off any possible chance of evacuation for the colonists of Sheer.
Right.
On the hunter side, you are defending, so it becomes sort of a tower defense mode where the hunters are defending these objectives here one by one. You start out here defending this generator. The generator is powering that sort of force field on the door there. And then as you destroy those generators, you will then push the hunters back towards that evacuation ship. And at each stage, the hunters are trying to defend those different sections.
Right, so if we can boil that down just a bit, basically you are trying to take down these generators, which take down the shields,
Yep.
And then will allow you to get in and destroy the refueling station, so that the drop ship that's going to take all the remaining survivors off of the planet.
Yeah, I mean, that's the idea, is you destroy the evacuation ship, you win the game. You rule the planet, monster victory. On the hunter side, this is what it's all about. This is what you've done all your training for as a hunter. This is why you're here, to basically just save everybody and be the heroes, and this is your opportunity to do that.
All right, so right now you can see the monster is really taking the fight already to the hunters. So you start as the monster. You start out this mode as already up to stage 3, and you also have little minion monsters that are spawning and helping you with the attack. So tell me, how does that change the dynamic for the monster player? Like, usually your early phases of the game are spent trying to stage up so that you can even stand up to the hunters. Here, right from the beginning, you're a real threat. So it seems like that allows you to get aggressive a lot earlier than you'd normally be able to. Is that about accurate?
Absolutely. It allows you to focus on the objective. You occasionally need to play conservatively. As you see, Dan's sort of starting to back off a little bit there.
Right, his shield's getting low.
Yeah, shield's getting low, his armor's down. He realizes he's done a lot of really good work on the generator. This is an opportunity for him to move backwards. You also see his minions moving in now. He can let them go in, take the focus from the hunters, and do the damage there. So you start out being able to just focus right on your objective, which is destroying the generator, and not worrying about so much about the farm, the feed, which he's only having to worry about as he feels that he's losing armor and needs to maybe sort of get back in the fight. That's what he's doing here. Well, as you can see, the minions do work, and the hunters have to focus on them.
It's such an interesting dynamic because there's really kind of two overall, in my head, but just from playing a little bit, overall like approaches that you can take. Now, you can push along with the minions, right? Because together, you'd be a more powerful force. Like, as a stage 3 monster, you're already kind of a force to be reckoned with that causes a problem for a group of hunters. But with 2 minions along with you, I mean, that's a lot for them to handle all at once. The problem, though, is that if they repel you, then you've got no minions coming for a while, and you're in a situation where you're probably depleted of shields, and they can kind of chase you down, knowing they have a lot of time before the next wave is coming in. On the other hand, though, if you decide to split up from your minions and let your minions attack while you go and feed, then you've got a more sustained offensive, but with not as much of a rush of offense all at once. It's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, it really it caters to a few different play styles. You can, like you said, you can be really aggressive and you can push with the minions, or you can do like what Dan's here and let the hunters get focused on the minions and then come in from behind. So that's definitely a nice play by him. What this forces the hunters to do is really work together as a team, no matter what, and to really communicate pick a target and focus on that target. A lot of times you're going to want to focus the minions down first and let the Kraken just sort of do his thing. But in this case, he's just doing so much damage to them that they might want to refocus on him and push him back and take the hit to the generator and allow the minions to just kind of do their thing.
Yeah, you kind of have to start looking at, as the hunters, it seems like you have to start looking at the health on your generators and the health on your turrets, which you have kind of as a resource, and choosing when to spend that resource and when to kind of be cautious with it, because you can't. Obviously, you don't have an infinite number of these. After we get through this, I said the first power generator is already down. Once we get down through the second generator, if that happens, then I'm curious to see how once you get to the last stand, what that allows, what kind of opportunities that creates for the monster if he's already up on shields and all that.
Right. So right now the hunters have a bit to give. You know, if they lose this generator, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
They're pushed back to another spot that they can then regroup and defend. And so right now, I think their focus is sort of twofold. They want to focus on keeping the generator up as long as possible, so taking the minions off of there, but then also while they're at it, trying to do damage on the Kraken and that permanent damage, which they haven't been able to do yet. So you kind of have to juggle back and forth between protecting your objectives there and trying to do damage onto the Kraken.
Sure, and the resource that it seems like the Kraken has to, well, the monster in general has to work with is time. You know, it's about, you know, how much of a rush do you feel like you need to put on this? I feel like when I played a match of this, I got a little bit greedy, even though I was doing kind of all right. You know, sometimes, especially if you play other tower defense games, or certainly if you play MOBAs of any kind, you know that sometimes when you make a push, you should be satisfied with a certain amount of damage, and then instead of getting greedy and trying to end it right there, you know you're ahead, so you back off so that you can re-up and get more ahead later. Is that important for the monster to understand?
I would absolutely say so. So you're seeing the timer up in the top left corner. There's about 3 minutes left in the game. The idea behind that is that evacuation ship is leaving no matter what in 3 minutes. So as the monster, you really have to manage your time. But at the same time, like you said, you can get too greedy and you can push too far. You don't always want to be the one that's pushing on the tower, like in some of those other game types that you've mentioned. You don't really want to always be pushing. But here, if you're going to be able to take it out with the last couple hits, then that's definitely a good time to push. He also has had a lot of armor to work with and has a lot of health to work with. So that's definitely a good time to push, but you need to know when you've won and when you need to fall back, get some farm, get some armor, and it looks like he's going to do that here.
Yeah, like right now seems like a perfect opportunity. He's gotten down the second generator. He's out of shield, so now he knows there's still a couple of minutes, a few minutes left on the clock. Oh, you get a little more time between the objectives.
Once you kill the generator, you get some more time. So that's definitely a win for him. He didn't take too much permanent damage. He's still got over half health. And now he is moving towards the power source back there.
Cool. What I think is interesting about this as well is that I feel like it gives kind of an additional bit of useful context for some of the hunter abilities that might not normally, I mean, none of the abilities ever seem like they're wasted so far from what I've played in this game, but certainly abilities like, say, Bucket's ability to put down turrets and whatnot, and control space. That seems like, in a mode like this, it really comes into its own, where it has a little more situational use when you're playing Hunt, which is kind of the core mode. In a mode like this, it feels like it would be invaluable.
Well, like exactly what you just saw there with Abe's stasis grenade. So he was trying to push up. They got a stasis grenade on him. And while a stasis grenade in like a mode of Hunt is normally going to be used to keep the monster in one place so that you can sit there and try to do damage, they're really just trying to keep him off and away from the hunters and the objective at this point. And they did a great job of using that ability there. We do talk a lot about what we call the trap team, and that's exactly what you were talking about. So Bucket's sentry guns, Maggie's harpoon traps, Markov's mines are invaluable in this mode here. But like you said, this gives an opportunity to really juggle between abilities and hunters when you're putting that team composition together and seeing exactly what fits this mode, because it's not necessarily the same as with Hunt or one of the other modes like you mentioned.
Yeah, you really do have to think about team composition in a really different way, as well as just the ebb and flow of the match. So all these different modes seem like they really give you different opportunities to use the tools in the toolbox in different ways, and that's really exciting to see. So I think we've gotten a good sense of what this mode is all about. Thank you so much, Dave, for illuminating some of it for us, and for you folks at home, for more on Evolve, you're already in the right place. IGN.